Hello, and welcome to the Capital Gains Tax Solutions Mastermind, ending the year, because this will be the last one for the year. Today, we are talking about the 2023 year in review, and I'm just filled with gratitude and filled with just reflection for today, which is really exciting. We're gonna talk about how it's been a significant achievements for Capital Gains Tax Solutions and exciting developments coming in the future for 2024. And we're going to highlight a few of those accomplishments. I think a good quote by Ray Dalio is when you reflect and you really look at where you've been, it helps you to progress into the future, right? And so I think it's good to reflect, to consider what's been achieved, and consider also some things that we're going to be improving in 2024. Coming up after 2023. So that's what we're going to start with today. And so for those who don't know me, my name is Brett Swartz. I'm founder of Capital Gains Tax Solutions. And each and every day we are focused like a laser on helping our clients and individuals like yourself or business professionals who help individuals that are selling multi-million-dollar assets that are looking to defer capital gains taxes and get some freedom with their capital and not be stuck on certain strategies like the 1031 exchange that can be very restrictive. We really pride ourselves on unlocking freedoms that the deferred sales trust offers, and then trying to be that trusted resource and guide to help you create and preserve more wealth. And it starts with not just a cash flow plan, but a tax flow plan. And that's what we're here to do, and also try to make simple what can be complex strategies such as the deferred sales trust. And so let's dive right into 2023 year in review. And it starts with, I think, one of the biggest highlights and was kind of the keystone for you, which was the launch of Building a Capital Gains Tax Exit Plan, the book. And the book was a labor of love. It took a good year to get in order, to organize, to work with the publisher, to write the book, and to have others be a part of the book. This hit #1 bestseller on Amazon with Wealth and Real Estate, which was really a big deal for us. It's our first book, my first book. And I just want to first thank all the people that were in the book. We have multiple parties in the book that helped to make it a success. There's a saying that goes, try to get in the room with smarter people. And if you do, you're gonna level up and become smarter. And that's really what the goal was. I try to get into a book with some smarter people. And so I want to give a big shout out, first of all, to Kevin Harrington from Shark Tank. He's chapter 2 in the book. And what a privilege and what an honor to have him in the book. He talked about finding your mentor. He wrote a book called Mentor to Millions. And in the chapter, he talks about his journey to becoming an entrepreneur and his journey of growing up in the business with his family and what it means to be able to give back. And I think that's really where it starts. We've all got to have, hopefully, a vision and a purpose, and that vision and purpose should include giving back and helping others. And Kevin kicks off the book in a great way on chapter 2. In chapter 4, we have David Young, and David Young is a remarkable, amazing wealth and financial mind. And he talks about overcoming false beliefs with the deferred sales trust. He's one of our key strategic alliances and just a great resource when it comes to all things wealth and management. And we also have chapter 5, and that's with Jake Miller. And Jake Miller is one of our top financial advisors that we work with. And he talks about how the deferred sales trust is a game changer. Chapter 6 was Kevin Bupp, and Kevin Bupp is Bupp, BUPP. He talks about going mobile with mobile home parks and investing. He's one of our top strategic alliances for investing with commercial real estate, and he was amazing in the book. We also have Buck Joffrey, who is just so smart and so articulate. He's a doctor, and he talks about building commercial real estate wealth and the wealth formula. We have Dr. Gurpreet Prada. He talks about prescription for commercial real estate success and how he's built wealth with commercial real estate. And we also have Don Winter. Don Winter's he's with DLP Capital. He talks about building an elite multifamily investing business. And they're actually our #1 strategic alliances for all things investing with the deferred sales trust. And he shares his story and about how to invest. Then we have the Science of Multifamily with Neil Bawa. We have Michael Blanc. We have Brian Burke. We have Don Einhorn. We have Joe Fairless. He's known with the Best Ever Real Estate Podcast and Ashcroft Capital. Dan Hanford, Gino Barbaro, Tyler McBroom, and Michelle Seiler Tucker. And so all of those folks kick off the year with making the book a success and having a significant impact to achieve what we like to say is trying to increase our know, like, and trust with our clients, with folks that are learning about the deferred sales trust for the first time. And that is the book. If you haven't got the book, I highly encourage you to check it out on Amazon. Go to go to Amazon and search Building a Capital Gains Tax Exit Plan. You can also go to brettswartz.com, and that's a place where you can look at the book. And so big emphasis on what the book did for us. Thank you so much, which leads us to the next big accomplishment for 2023, which was the experience with Kevin Harrington from Shark Tank. And it wasn't just the ability to shoot a video with him live and in person and meet him for the first time, but also bringing my daughters along. You know, as entrepreneurs, sometimes we get caught between working really hard and having a balance and trying to balance in life. And so with children and family, it was such an amazing experience to bring my daughters along to be videographers, to actually come and work with me, right, for the first time. I have 4 daughters and a son, and so I brought 2 daughters on the trip, my 13-year-old and my 10-year-old, my firstborn and my thirdborn, and they were able to shoot behind the scenes. If you haven't seen that video, you can go to YouTube, or YouTube's channel, and you can see the entire kind of making of and behind the scenes of the time that I spent with Kevin shooting in the studio. And that, by the way, is to be released here soon in 2024. But just having that family involvement is really a special moment for myself and for the company, because I do see the future of capital gains tax solutions, having my daughters and my son involved with us. Should they choose to do that, it would be an honor to do that. The next thing I want to just kind of touch on is just the client success stories for 2023. We've expanded into new states across the country. I actually transitioned from Taxifornia to Florida, and we now reside here. And part of that strategy was to expand our presence, not just mostly on the West Coast, but also into the East Coast and in between. And so we opened up new client presence in different states, added new strategic alliances in different states, and we're really starting to expand our reach across all the 50 states. Along with that, kind of having a diverse client background. It's the best part of this business to get to know my clients, getting a chance to become a part of their team, to help them execute their business plan and their real estate plan and their tax flow plan, and trying to be really that trusted resource that brings great team members together. So we have new companies like a billboard company. Another new billboard company was a digital billboard company. We had a regular traditional billboard company the prior year, and now we have a digital billboard company. You know, we've done car washes, veterinarians, we've done cryptocurrency. Of course, we've done multifamily. We've done mobile home parks. We've done multiple exits. And so it's just neat to be able to expand that reach in 2023 with not only new states and new clients, but different backgrounds of what they're selling, which further enhances the ability to help more people solve more problems. We like to use the analogy that we're sort of like solving in a Rubik's Cube every day, that people show up with their challenges, and we want to try to turn that cube. And the more diverse background of problem solving, the more we can apply those skill sets to our new clients and new people that are looking at the deferred sales trust. And so thank you for all our clients that put your trust into us for the first time, and for those who continue to put your trust in us year in, year out as well. We don't take that for granted, and we are only ever trying to increase the ability for the deferred sales trust to be an investment, not an expense, and the ability to get flexibility and be of innovative ways while staying within the guardrails of the deferred sales trust and the tax attorneys that are our business partners that have laid out. And so I want to thank everyone for that. Looking ahead to some really cool things that we're excited about. We're launching kind of officially experttaxsecrets.com, which is going to be a part of the Best 1031 exchange plan that's going to be officially launched. We're going to launch our official mastermind. In fact, this free mastermind is ending as of today. It's been a good about almost 2-year run on this. And so we're ending that one, and we're going to a more paid, which is going to be able to bring even more value to those that are be a part of it. But as a part of that, we have our coaching program, Expert Tax Secrets, that's going to be launched in an official manner, as well as the mastermind, which we're calling the Expert Tax Secrets Mastermind. We're going to bring in top experts to share their best secrets as well with tax and wealth, and a setting where we can be a intimate setting to ask questions and connect with them. And so that's going to be a regular routine with that Expert Tax Secrets Mastermind. So be checking that out as well. We're probably going to be releasing our second book. We're also going to be focusing on cryptocurrency really big in 2024. We believe 2024 will be a huge year for cryptocurrency, and it's a great opportunity for a lot of wealth to appreciate, which means it's a great opportunity to have some tax flow planning. So we see 2024 as a year for outrageous amounts of opportunity to help those that are wanting to get some diversification, exit high, and really practice what we call optimal timing with the deferred sales trust. And so with that, that's 2023. I want to encourage everyone to check out the book, watch the behind the scenes with Kevin Harrington and the making of the video, and also reach out to us for our services. The best place you can go to for that, by the way, is called brettswarts.com. And you can also go to capitalgainstaxsolutions.com. But brettswarts.com will have all of our links to our YouTube channel, our book, our podcast, as well as our services with Expert Tax Secrets and Capital Gains Tax Solutions. So brettswarts.com. That being said, we are joined today in our last mastermind here with one of our top strategic alliances. She is a real estate professional and expert in all things single family and luxury home sales in the Truckee and Lake Tahoe area. Rebecca Munson, how are we doing today?
Great, Brett. How are you?
Fantastic. Yeah. Are you getting excited for, and it's looking like, by the way, Rebecca, I'm actually going to send you a link here because for some reason I hadn't connected my Zoom. So I'm going to send a link right here. Click into that. And we're actually going to hang out on Restream today since it's just you and me. Rebecca's coming here in a minute. Usually I connect my Zoom to my Restream. And in this scenario, I haven't connected it, but I am live streaming on Restream. If you're curious how we do this, sometimes we're just in a Zoom room that streams into Restream, that then it syndicates out to YouTube and Facebook and Twitter, right? And then sometimes you can just go straight into Restream. So we'll see if Rebecca can get into the stream here in a second. Let's.
This will be a first for me, so I'm learning something new every day.
Yep, I'm going to actually click out of there. And I'll email this to you too, Rebecca, so you have it. All right. So yeah, so I'm curious what your 2023 was like, if you're listening to this, and or if you've set your goals and you've laid out a vision for 2024, and what you're most excited for in 2024. Also, any ideas that you want us to cover in 2024, right? We focus like a laser on exit planning, but it could be real estate. You know, we love real estate. We love we also looking at business ventures as well. I'll be announcing something in the first quarter that's going to be really exciting as well. Another brand, another business that's launching. That's going to be a lot of synergy with Capital Gains Tax Solutions. So look for that to come as well. We're looking to expand our team. We're building our team right now, bringing in new team members, which is another phase of the growth of the company, which is also really exciting to provide a higher level of service and lots of more eyes and ears on the ground to find more deals, find more investments for our clients, and ultimately always like a laser trying to make the DST an investment and not an expense. So we're also excited about that. But what are your plans for 2024? It's great time to start planning if you haven't already before the new year, because once the new year starts, everything just starts to build momentum, and hopefully you're going into this year with a lot of momentum. You know, we've heard a great quote by Craig Groeschel, the leadership one of the top leadership podcasts in America, which is momentum is greater than the sum total of all of our resources, strategy, and leadership combined. And I first heard that quote, I said, wow, that's incredible to think about that, right? Because we focus, you know, I imagine a lot of us focus on growing our leadership, growing our personal development, which is so important, right? Your communication, you're spending time on podcasts, you're reading books, masterminds, coaches, like you're growing that, right? And so that's one aspect of let's say growth in business and wealth is your leadership. In fact, is probably to me the most important one. However, according to Craig, it's not only that. Momentum is more important, but not only that, but number two is your resources, right? Your resources could be your team members. It could be the tools you use, could be the cash flow you have coming in. It could be it's the lifeblood of your business, right? The revenue streams, the resources, right? Team members, tools, people, strategic alliances, like those are resources. Those are great, but it's not even as great as momentum, right? The next one is strategy, right? How are we going to implement? Like we're talking strategy all the time. But greater than the sum total of all three of those is momentum, right? So how do you create and sustain momentum? And that is the theme of 2024 for Capital Gains Tax Solutions, for everything we're doing here. And we want to encourage you to also jump into that. And so let's bring Rebecca in. Rebecca, how are we doing?
Good. I figured that one out.
Yeah. We were just talking about momentum and vision and planning for 2024 and the 2023 review.
Yeah.
And so the quote is this, Rebecca: momentum is greater than the sum total of all of our leadership, strategy, and resources combined, right? So when you hear that, how does that encourage you or challenge you to start 2024 with massive momentum?
It definitely encourages me to continue to get out and make connections with people, to be out in the world a little bit more. 2023, I definitely felt like I was kind of stuck in my home too much, I would say. So excited to get out and connect with just people, sharing the story about the Deferred Sales Trust, how it's going to help my husband and myself, how it's helped other people. And then, just being of service to people is really my goal for 2024, and to really enjoy life as much as I can. I've had some, friends have some pretty difficult journeys this year with health and issues, and it just reminded me again to live life to the fullest, to embrace all the opportunities that are out there. So yeah.
That's so well said. Yeah. And in fact, Richard C. Wilson said it well. He's the head of Family Office Club. He said, every year you should try to make the next year the most fun year ever. He said it for that exact reason, because you just don't know when things can drastically change with your health, with your circumstances, with whatever it is. And so don't take for granted that it's going to be that someday you're going to do all those really fun, amazing, cool things you want to do. And fun doesn't always just mean entertainment, right? It could also mean like impact. It can mean travel. It can mean business. It can mean whatever how you define that, but try to aim for the idea of making it the most enjoyable, fun year ever. And that shifts the mindset from just like, oh, how much can I grow the business? How many deals can I close? Right. And it actually, he says it should actually grow your business, right? If you take on that mindset of really looking to live this next year to the fullest, you're organizing your year, you're planning it out, and you're being very intentional about that, but you're centering around really enjoying and having fun. I think that's so important. And also, like how you said, getting out more for sure, right? I mean, I think the key is always getting in front of as many people as you can, so you can help more people, right? Whether that be creating content, whether that be speaking at events, going to conferences, joining masterminds. These are practical things that you can do to get connected with folks. So I like that. What else comes to mind when you think about 2024, or anything that you said, hey, it would be great if looking back 1 year from now, right? And we look back over in 2024, what would you think it would be a great thing to have accomplished?
For me, it is really, like you said, having fun, but having things planned out. I'm really working on that in these last 2 weeks, and I've actually been working on it for probably the last 2 months, but really putting a plan in place to where I'm going to focus my time the best, to be not working harder, but working better, and still putting in time to have fun, like you said. I'm also volunteering with Meals on Wheels, probably 2 days a month. So that's, giving back to the community, but also just being involved in the community. yeah, just making an impact, but working harder or working better rather than harder. Um, Focusing on social media, things like LinkedIn, um, having people in place, a virtual assistant, that kind of thing, to make sure that I'm maximizing my time. And um, yeah, we're building another house. So being involved with that, that's always a fun part for me. We'll have an ADU, so a small apartment in the house that we're building. So I'm excited to kind of focus on kind of tiny home things in addition to um, the house. So an additional source of income for us as well, some passive income, which is nice. And making a plan to move forward with at some point semi-retiring. So having that passive set of passive income coming in so that I can step away a little bit more from the business.
That's fantastic. You sounds like you have that pretty well thought out, right? And
Yeah.
now it's about executing those small steps. There's a cool investment that I'm just learning about too, Rebecca. It's called S2A Modular, and
I've heard of them. Yeah, they're awesome.
they're out of Palo Alto, and in fact, I'm connected with one of the founders and owners of the company, and they're becoming a strategic alliance. So I'm planning on being out there maybe in the end of January, and then spending some time to tour the site. But we think they have an opportunity to do some really big things with cutting the speed at which it takes to build, right? And then also cutting in half, about half as fast, about half as long to build, the better way to put it, and about half the cost to build. So that is massive opportunity. They're building factories in multiple locations across the country. They started in Palo Alto. And so I'm wondering what, like yourself, if you're like, hey, I'm building luxury, what that would look like in Tahoe. Have you looked at that at all, or considered that?
So definitely modular building, because I've looked into their business before. I found them, scanning social media probably a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago, when they were looking for investments. But because we also own a fourplex lot, a multi-residential lot, and so I always thought it would be just more cost efficient to build it as a modular type of building. So there are definitely opportunities. I think living in the mountains, there's definitely some challenges with building that maybe not so in lower elevation places. But there have definitely been homes built. There's actually a house down the street from me here in Gray's Crossing that was built probably 10 years ago and was a modular built home, a pre-built home that they installed. So a lot of times that works. There's definitely some challenges along the way to adjust for altitude and snow load and those kind of things. And then living in California, California's building codes are a lot different than, let's say, building in Montana or Florida or in different places. So, but yeah, it's a great opportunity for luxury builders. I think it just making sure it's tweaked for the environment that it's being installed in.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Yeah. And so we're bringing more of those opportunities to everybody as well in 2024. We think year of 2024 will be one of the best investment buying opportunities that we've seen in 10 years for real estate. And also maybe some of these other opportunities here that are really focused on huge exponential demand markets like housing, right? So if you can do it in a more efficient way and a less expensive way, and it could change the landscape for housing. And so we will be reporting back on that and showing you more in the future. Those are just a few things for 2024 to look forward to. Rebecca, what questions or thoughts about anything really at this point would you want to throw out there while we still have some time here to hang out?
So, I was talking to uh, a couple who is they're building kind of their dream mountain home, but they're not sure if it makes sense financially to keep it these days. I mean, the cost of building is such that I mean, with S2A modular, if you can cut the cost of just timing in building, you save so much money, because the cost of holding is one of those things. But they're like, well, should we, continue and maybe move into this house, or should we maybe sell it because there's a huge demand for homes these days, especially in the mountain and luxury homes. So um, obviously, spec building is one of those areas that I think the deferred sales trust can work if the numbers work, because then you can reinvest the funds back into another build. But
Yeah, let's walk through that. I think that's exactly right. Like, we're actually looking at these sites in Florida right now where the new strategic alliance, his name is Mark. He builds spec luxury houses right on the ocean. He's built over 100 houses, but now he's really focused on just literally the waterfront. And this one we have coming up, we're actually going to be investing in. It's about a $4 million build total cost with the land. And it's about a $6 million exit, but it does in about 14 months. And so what he used to do is he'd build and sell. And because he's selling it 5 or 7 million, he would have to 1031 to defer the tax into something else. But what he really wanted to do is to go build another spec house and continue to do that. But now his other money is kind of locked up in this apartment complex is what he typically would buy. And that's locked up for 3 to 5 years. And he's like, that's okay, but I really want to build, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these a year rather than just 1 to 2. But I have to get the capital. And so the DST is perfect for him, because now he goes, look, I don't have to 1031. I don't have to do equal or greater value. And I can buy, and I can use the funds to also build, because that's a big challenge, right? And couple that with debt being expensive, especially for construction, you have a perfect solution for those who want to be a developer and also want to defer their capital gains taxes while having the time to find and structure and go through the process. And so the DST is literally perfect for that. So he's over the moon on this. He's like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. I've been doing it all this other way, or just paying the tax. And he goes, this is what I've been waiting for. Thank you. And so that's exactly right. That's where the DST is perfect for anyone who's developing really anything of any kind, and that wants to continue to develop rather than, buy something that's much bigger, already completed, and then their capital is tied up in that.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you for making that very succinct. I can explain it to him now that way. I appreciate it. Yeah. That's awesome.
Absolutely. What other questions or thoughts come to mind?
So can we run through in a scenario with, let's say, somebody who owns maybe multiple auto repair businesses. So they're maybe looking at expanding. So, they could sell one, but maybe then they take the funds and they could then purchase 2.
Yeah.
Or, I don't know.
Yeah, that makes sense. We can do that. It's pretty simple, right? So the DST, let's say you were to sell one, and let's say you had a place that was worth 3 million and you had $1 million of tax, and you either wanted to start other ones or buy ones that are less expensive, right? And you need time to find that. So you could sell. You could do 2 things. You could first refinance if you didn't have a lot of debt on that, right? And then that's a common way that people would expand. They refinance. But if you have a lot of equity built up, and the key is how quickly can you get the equity out to redeploy? When you sell it, then you can defer the tax, then you can deploy the next day with the trust. So you get it take about a week, but you can get a new LLC to go do that, right? And so that's really the equation. It's what's your return on equity, right? What's your ROE? your cash flow compared to the valuation of the property that you could sell. Like, so what's the kind of the sleeping equity? So your return on equity is a great calculation to run. We're looking at a fourplex today in the Bay Area for a client. It's worth about $2 million. His return on equity is like 1.5%. He's only making like $25,000 a year in cash flow because the debt service has gone higher. So he's like, it's not great. I have a lot of equity, but I don't have great cash flow. And so we're looking at the DST as a solution to get like 80,000 or 90,000 in cash flow every year, net of closing costs, net of fees. And so he's like, oh my gosh, it's amazing, right? I can go from 25 to about 90. Like, that's amazing. And I said, yeah. And so he goes, well, when did we sign up? Because, California especially is notorious for this. You get huge appreciation, and then you might get capped with like rent control, right? Or you might just get bad, debt is just kind of go higher. And so you really want to look at ROE is the first thing. And then once you sell the monies in the trust, you can turn around and you can partner with the trust and go build and buy more assets or businesses. And so that's by doing what's called a joint venture LLC partnership with the trust. So does that answer the question, Rebecca?
It certainly does. And also, I'm just thinking about all those people that have those multi-residential properties that maybe purchased them in the last few years, and now they're looking at maybe having to refinance. And yes, interest rates have gone down, but they're not where they were a couple of years ago. So it may make more sense to step away and just have some passive income.
I could agree with you more. Let's touch on that real fast, right? Because what you're saying there is so important, right? Because not only have interest rates gone higher, which means debt service is higher, but also means debt coverage ratios, right, are restricting the debt. So there's less refinance funds, right? Or for example, if you had a $5 million building 2.5 years ago with 3% interest rates and you owned it free and clear, the bank might loan you 75%, right, on that LTV. Yeah. Now they might loan you 65 or even 50, right? Because they look at the rent compared to the debt service, the cost for the debt every month. And they say, okay, what's your cash flow? What's your NOI, before debt service and then after debt service? And they want a ratio where it's greater. It has a good cushion, and typically it's like 1.25, right? So for every dollar, every $1.25 of cash flow, they would give like $1 of debt service, right? So they're doing kind of this ratio here. And so it starts to get restricted. And so the whole cash out refi scenario, like you're talking about, not only are banks less likely to loan right now, but if they do loan, they're going to loan at a higher interest rate, and they're going to give you less loan dollars. So it's like the reverse of getting your money to work for you. Whereas if you sell and you can use the deferred sales trust, not only do you pay off the debt, you're debt free, and hopefully that debt service is, if it was high, then you're even in a better position because you can go loan that money to others at higher interest rates, which is cool. And or you can buy deals at a discount because people are starting to struggle, and we're seeing that. And so that's why the DST is so nice, because you can sell high, buy low. You can sell high and buy whenever you want to. And it's not forcing that 1031, or it's not forcing you to have to go into bad debt or bad refinance, right? You really can take advantage of that.
Yeah. Perfect. Thank you. Yeah. Love those scenarios.
That's all I got for today. We were just me and you today, Rebecca, unless you have anything else. Otherwise, I want to wish you a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year. And if people want to find you, where can they find you?
So they can find me at 530-448-9740 is my cell, or RebeccaMunson.com.
Amazing. Rebecca, I want to thank you for our strategic alliance, our friendship, and the opportunity to work with you. And so I wish you all the best in 2023. We're also both a part of EXP, right? For those who are wondering, we're also are both in real estate, and that's where I got started in the whole thing. You may not know that. So thank you, Rebecca. I appreciate you, and let's try to do some major business in 2024. And I also want to thank everybody out there who's been watching us online, who subscribed to our YouTube channel. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Share this with somebody. It can be inspirational to and helpful to. And we encourage you to go go have a plan, right? Because not having a plan is the enemy. Have a plan for your vision, for your wealth, for your exit plan, for your debt flow plan, tax flow plan, cash flow plan. We're here to help you and guide you with that, especially for exiting highly appreciated assets. So if we can be of service to you, please reach out to us. Go to capitalgainstaxsolutions.com, and you can also go to brettswartz.com, which will give you access to expert tax secrets, the best 1031 exit plan, the book, the YouTube channel, the social media. All of that is at the one site, brettswartz.com. And thank you so much, and have a great